works. Very cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so hopefully you all can see that. Thank you all for coming this Friday morning. We're covering some of the topics of renewing, bridging, and just sharing some ideas around those topics. So first, here is our agenda. So we're going to just do a couple of council reminders. So just around TFRs, the renewal rewards, some new membership offerings, and then just a quick little snippet of getting back to in-person. That's going to be next month's topic, but just a quick little checklist for that, and then diving into bridging. So we should have some time at the end also to just share ideas. So definitely you can drop your questions or things in chat, or you can wait till the end and have that time to share. So first off, just a quick reminder, I know a lot of you are troop leaders, so troop finance reports are due May 31st. So just a reminder, it's through the finance tab, so it's all online through the volunteer toolkit. And if you haven't or didn't go to last month's session, we can probably send you guys the links out for that series, but we did go into tips and tricks for the finance tab and how to get that all submitted. So we'll share that out later. But if you have any questions, feel free to also drop them in chat if you want, and we can help address those. And then we got an update. We have the rocker for the renewal patch. So I just wanted to share that out. So these are the renewal reward patches that you'll get. So we have the main one and then the rocker as well. And then just sharing some of the rewards. The first reward period is actually ending at the end of this month. So if anyone wants to do that extra early bird renewal, the first deadline is April 30th. And what you get is the $20 off program discount code along with the patches on the side. And also you're eligible to sign up for Michelle Obama's Becoming Me event, which will be held online May 6th. So you do need to have a registered active membership for the next year to sign up for that event. So just a quick reminder on that. And also the second renewal early bird period will be June 30th. Otherwise, our normal renewal period for on-time renewals has been extended to October 31st. So plenty of time to renew, and everyone who does their renewals will get the patches on the right by October 31st. And just some resources. I'm not sure if everyone's checked out our renewal landing page, which is the gsnorcal.org/renew. And if you go there, we actually have some resources that are really great to send out to your parents in your troops, just to kind of recap what those rewards are, as well as the pricing and where they can find the link to all of the renewal resources. So on the right side, these are the two flyers we have. We actually have three, one for the service unit. So if you have any service unit team members, you'd want to take a look at that service unit sheet. But these ones are the troop ones, as well as the family one. So these are really great. They're PDFs you can download and then just shoot them out to your parents to share the details about the renewal.
Also, I wanted to point out on the renewal page at gsnorcal.org, if you scroll down, there will be drop-down step-by-step instructions on how to renew your troop, your family, your various roles. We do have new systems, so it looks very different from when you went to do it last year. So if you need some help, you can find that here in your drop-down instructions. And there's also specific instructions on registering your graduating girls as adults, and how to do lifetime membership renewals and so forth. Mm-hmm. So lots of details if you get stuck on anything.
Yeah, so this is what Whitney was mentioning. So you would just expand it. It has details. So step-by-step instructions. And we also have some videos too. So you can go down here and click these links to different video tutorials as well. All right. And we did want to mention extended membership year. So what that is, it's normally for brand new members where they get the remainder of the current membership year plus all of the next membership year for the prices listed here. And what's new this year is that girls and adults who want to rejoin Girl Scouts have the option to choose the extended membership years. So I would definitely share that news with your families and your troops. If anyone wants to come back to Girl Scouts and rejoin, they have the option to choose the extended membership year. And they actually qualify for the renewal rewards as well. So they get both that discounted membership as well as some of the renewal rewards, depending on like the timeline that they renew or rejoin.
And along with this, we're really appealing to those of you who are troop leaders or troop helpers to reach out to families who didn't renew in the last year or so, especially if they were just kind of dropped out because they're overwhelmed by COVID. Please reach out to them and let them know that we have these special opportunities for them to resume their Girl Scouting experience now that things are starting to open up. A lot of people are kind of ready to resume their activities.
Yeah, that's a good point, Winnie. And then we just also wanted to just switch to this. It's just to get back in person. It's a quick little checklist. Next month's focus will be going into the details with some ideas on how you can get back in person. We know that in-person Girl Scouts is allowed in all tier counties outdoors. And then if you're in the orange or yellow tier, you can even meet indoors as well. So we just wanted to share, make sure to renew the COVID guidance webpage that we have on our GS NorCal website and check all your permission slips. Make sure you have all of those collected along with the health history forms. And also check your rosters. I know you want to make sure that background checks aren't expired or everyone's renewed before you start doing your Girl Scout activities. So definitely check those out. And if you need something re-triggered like a background check, you can just send an email to the info@GS NorCal and they'll be happy to help get that triggered for a volunteer or someone. And then also we have a new COVID parent agreement form on our COVID website. So there's not like a sign here type of agreement. Council's not collecting it, but this is something you really want your parents to take a look at and just make sure that they're aware of certain guidelines of what's expected for like Girl Scout in-person meetings. So I'll drop the link in chat after this, but yeah, there's the COVID webpage, or maybe Winnie, if you can just link the COVID guidance webpage from council in chat, that would be great.
Yes,
but
I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll go into details next learning session about all of that. But yeah, just a quick reminder if you guys are starting early. Do we have any questions about getting back in person or any of that renewal?
We do have a question on how to be able to tell if your background screening is expiring.
Oh, that's a good question. So if you go into
that actually was my question. And actually, since the new platform is taken over, I can't see my parents in my troop. I'm the troop leader when their background check expires. And a lot of data is missing for me from the previous platform. So maybe I'm going to the wrong site, but I thought it was under my GS, my troops, and then I go to my troop. It's not there anymore.
I feel like it does. So if they do have like a background check on file, it should be next to their name or something. I'm trying to see
in the troop membership profile. It should show next to their
and if they're not showing up, it's possible that they haven't been renewed or something for a while. So we only pulled over like the most, maybe like the last 1 or 2 years of memberships into the new platform. So if they maybe lapsed, they wouldn't be showing up.
So on mine, none of them are showing up. And I know I have my background check. My husband just did his and I know it's there. And I know that a couple other parents have theirs on file, but it says nothing under my parent folder. So
if I go into my troop membership profile and my member details come up, click on the drop down box comes down on the left, click on my troop.
Yes.
And my members are listed there. I'll have a name and then it will say expiration date next to the name of the person. If they have a background screening. If they don't have a background screening, it will say expiration date NA. And
Yeah, so it'll
I
look
can
like-
see that on all my adult members. So I'm wondering if maybe you're in a different spot. It's in this center.
CBC is the expiration date?
CBC is the background screening. And you
Got
see
it.
expiration date there. It says NA for some of them because these individuals don't have a background screening.
Okay, I can see that. I just didn't know that's what it meant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think CBC, depending, it stands for criminal background check. So, or if you like BGC or something, it's like background screening. I don't know. There's different abbreviations and stuff. So yeah.
If you did the fingerprinting years ago when we first started to be required to have background screenings, it's a forever thing as long as you're registered. I see Sue put that in the chat. Sue, I'll have to take a look at your profile and see why you would have additional screenings, but that original background screenings that some of us did years ago,
Right.
it doesn't expire as long as you stay renewed.
Yeah, and I'm a lifetime member, so mine should not expire.
Right. Right.
Okay, thank
One
you,
of
Winnie.
the pluses of being a lifetime member, right?
I like it. I got mine back when it was about $90. I'm old.
All
But,
right.
oh, I guess going on lifetime memberships, if you do have one, make sure to renew your volunteer roles. I know that's easy to forget. You think, oh, yes, I'm renewed. I'm going to get all my rewards. But if you, because I'm a lifetime member and you just think like it's automatic, you do have to actually renew your positions. So just so we know that you're continuing. So anyone else who's a lifetime member, definitely don't forget to do that if you want to stay in your roles. Otherwise, we'll just have to re-add you or you might get deactivated or something. But
And
just
as
sharing
well, when
that
you renew yourself or other adults in your troop, renew each of the roles that you or they are continuing to be active in. For example, if you're troop leader and also a cookie manager or treasurer, check both those roles or however many roles your individuals are associated with. That way that it shows that they are continuing to volunteer in that capacity. And service unit roles too, don't forget those. We love our service unit volunteers.
Yeah, and with the new system, you can just check the little boxes and that's how you add in what you want to renew into like your cart. So just make sure to go through and check all of those boxes. If you see the grayed out renewed button, that means nothing's selected. So you just want to make sure you have a selection in order for the renewal button to be clickable. So just sharing that quick tip. And we're going to go ahead if there's not any other, sorry, I can't see the chat, but if there's not any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide.
I have a question about bridging in person. If you were to do bridging in person with the new COVID guidelines, are we only limited to just the scouts and the volunteer, or can like other parents and siblings attend?
So I think we're going to cover that in the next couple of things, but yeah, so you can do like in-person type of bridgings. I think we do recommend that it's with mainly like the troop leaders and the girls. If you want, you could potentially do spectators, kind of like how youth sports are allowing spectators. However, they all need to be with their single household distance, like no socializing amongst the quote spectators or families. So everyone needs to have their own little like spectator pod. But yeah, we do try to recommend that it's with like mainly just the troop girls and the leaders.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break real quick. We're gonna do this little word cloud before we switch into full on bridging mode. So if you want to scan this QR code or type that URL into, I'll put it in chat actually, and then you can add in your 3 ideas of what you're looking forward to getting back in person Girl Scouts. So let me go ahead and find that link.
And then at the end of our session, we'll share the word cloud with you and you can see what we all created. This is kind of, it also shows you a fun activity you can do with your troop, with your service unit.
So let me, I can't see this, but there you go. That is the link to the word cloud board, or you can also scan the QR code and it'll pop up on your phone. And yeah, feel free to just type in a couple of words. Yeah, so we did want to share this resource. It's pretty cool. We just found out about it. It's mentimeter.com. You would just create your own little account and then you can create your own boards. You could change the colors. You can do graphs and charts if you don't want to do a word cloud. But yeah, it's a really cool interactive way to just have everyone brainstorm and see what everyone's interested in.
Lots of horseback riding, I see. Camping, hiking, lots of hiking.
Yeah, I like that.
Collaboration. Mhm.
Okay, I'll give it about 30 more seconds, so feel free. And I know if you can't add anything, feel free to put it in chat and I can try to add it for you as well. So that way your ideas are shared. I think Elizabeth, I saw that you had some. So we'll definitely add your ideas and everyone's ideas in chat. And then we'll share out this little word cloud after the meeting when we send our recap. So love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drag this off screen. Thank you all for sharing your cool ideas. I know everyone, it looks like camping and hiking outdoors, both hiking, in-person meetings, trips, bridging. Yeah, all of it. That's awesome. So thank you all for sharing, and we will share this little word cloud out with all of you after. So you can have that, put it up on your wall, share it with your girls. You'll have that available to you. And next, I'm going to hand it off to Winnie to go into moving to the next level.
All right, so moving to the next level, one of the really special things about Girl Scouts that all girls have the ability to participate in is moving to the next level. Bridging up is what we call it. And regardless of how much program a girl does during whatever level she's in, she gets to bridge to the next level. It is based on age grade, not based on achievement of program materials. In our volunteer learning portal, we have a short training for each level for bridging. And a great part of that training session is linking you to special ceremony ideas, activities to celebrate, and how to involve the girls in choosing how to bridge up and what activities they want to do to make it special. It is something to make special because it is an accomplishment. It's one of those special rites of passage in our Girl Scout sisterhood. So for daisies, brownies, and juniors, you can check the Girl Scout playbook. There's ideas there as well as in the volunteer learning portal. And when they transition from that junior age and the younger girl levels up to cadets, then seniors and ambassadors, is where you really start to see a change in the way that the troop functions and a change in the focus of the troop. At that point, when girls are moving up to middle school and 6th grade, they are reaching that point where they're starting to be aware of the world around them and what their place is in that world. They're starting to deal with all the social and emotional issues that come with adolescence and pre-adolescence, and that becomes more of your focus as a troop. Instead of presenting fun things for them to try, activities and things like that, you shift to where their focus becomes on the world around them and their place in it. They're going to be aware of current events. They're looking at how they connect to those current events that are happening. They are interacting with other peers and trying to learn how to socially connect to them and deal with the changes in emotion and hormones and relationships that they're suddenly facing. And so the most critical thing you can do to support them in Girl Scouts at that point is make your troop a safe place for them to learn, to discuss, to try on different personas, different ideas, different focuses, and learn who they are and connect with each other and share that experience with their Girl Scout sisters. They know that the troop is a safe place where they're supported, they're respected for all their quirks and their personalities and their individuality. Then that becomes a place that they enjoy coming to, regardless of whether they're girls who are high achievers in terms of Girl Scout program and they want to do a whole lot of badges or journeys or events, or they're girls who just want to be there. They just want to be connected to their Girl Scout sisters, and whether or not they do program or events is not a critical thing for them. So it's really a shift in focus of how you as a leader manage these girls. It's a looser hold. You're not planning so many mapped out and structured activities. You want to give them time to discuss, use what's going on in the world, current events and things that are happening in the community as a springboard, or use what they bring up as a springboard for discussion and for exploration, and opportunity to say, hey, we have a badge on public policy. Would you like to learn about that? And they say, oh my gosh, that's so boring. Politics are so boring. But you can say, this is the way that you can change the world. This is the way that you can learn what your role is. When I first brought up the idea of one of the democracy badges to my girls, they all thought that would be so boring and they didn't want to do it. But we did end up doing it after we discussed what would be relevant. And it ended up being one of the most engaging badges they did as Girl Scouts. They kind of learned their place. Several of them got involved in working as poll workers in their teens. A couple of them chose to go on to college and study politically related topics because they had kind of engaged in that in Girl Scouts. So find ways that they are connecting to the world around them. It's a great opportunity for them to learn about community service and the difference between community service and take action, where we're having a sustainable effect on what we do. We're not just picking up trash, but we're changing the fact that trash is being put there in the first place. We do have in our forms a sensitive issues form that I would suggest that everybody heading into cadets or even juniors, get that form, look it over, and have a parent meeting or parent discussion about the topics that kids bring up at this point. They may bring up gender. They may bring up what they see in the news. They may bring up all kinds of topics that can be a little touchy, and you want your parents to be on the same page with what may come up in the troop and be okay with that. And then it's a safe place for these girls to talk about what they need to talk about, what's on their mind and what they need to voice. You may end up with a lot of really circular discussions. And as the leader or a troop helper, you want to make sure that they're headed in a positive, safe direction in their discussions, that it's not spiraling down into something negative. And that's kind of your role as a troop leader. You're guiding them and allowing it to be girl-led more than a structured environment like you would have in Daisies and Brownies. As they get up into high school and they end up bridging to adults, that's not the end of their Girl Scout experience. A lot of times we refer to them as being done, aging out. That's not the case. They don't have to age out and be done and disappear from Girl Scouts. A lot of our young alumni remain connected with each other, with the organization, especially during the past year when so much of our program has been virtual. Girls in college have had the opportunity to continue their Girl Scout experience as troop helpers, as program facilitators with council, helping to put on program. They have the opportunity this summer to be camp counselors in person at our various camps, which is a really fun opportunity. They don't have to be done with camp. They're just moving to the next level of camp. And right now, GS NorCal is still hiring camp counselors who are 18 plus. So if you have any girls or know any girls who are that age and might like to have another summer at camp, please definitely refer them to Careers with Girl Scouts because we are looking for these girls. If you have girls who are interested in being connected to volunteer opportunities with Girl Scouts, please reach out to your volunteer development manager or to one of us, and we will put them in touch with our program department. Depending on what their interest is, we can get them involved perhaps in this summer's Tadger's Treehouse virtual camp, or connected to our in-person summer camps or other program that they might be interested in participating in. So definitely don't send them off without getting to continue their Girl Scout experience. All right, so ceremonies that go with bridging and each year of change. Basic, first one is that little membership star with its colored disc that represents their level. The girls earn this at the end of each year. It goes on their vest. They'll get one for each year. Sometimes you'll see girls when they get up to seniors and they've got so many pins, maybe they might just have one for each level. But they earn that each year. Want to make sure you present it to them in one of these other ceremonies, perhaps. Rededication is the opportunity for girls to recommit to Girl Scouting, and for us as adults. Sometimes service units will do this at leader meetings in the fall. We'll have a rededication combined sometimes with an investiture for new leaders. This is a great fall ceremony, maybe your first meeting of the school year when your girls get together, have a rededication. You can combine that with the investiture of any new girls coming in, and it's reaffirming their connection to their troop, to their Girl Scout sisterhood. It's a nice special ceremony, again, that tightens that bond of sisterhood in Girl Scouts. So bridging specifically refers to that transition between levels. Daisies are first and second grade. Then they bridge up to brownies, third and fourth grade. Brownies fly up to juniors for fourth and fifth grade. Then cadets are 3 years, 6, 7, and 8. Then they bridge to seniors, 9 and 10, and bridge to ambassadors, 11th and 12th grade. And then that really special bridging from ambassadors to adults. The flying up is an especially nostalgic reference for the brownies to fly up to juniors. This is from years ago when we had the story of the brownie elf, and the brownie leaders were called brownie owls. And so when the girls would leave the nest and go up to juniors, they would fly up, and they get those little wings. You often see them. Those can stay on their vest between levels. So when they bridge up to cadets or older, they can transfer or put new brownie wings on their older girl vests as well. And same with the little arcs or rainbows you get for each bridging level. We have a different rainbow bridge for each bridging level. Those rainbow arcs can be moved up to their older girl vests if you want to. If it feels like too much, sometimes on the older girl vests, especially if they have sashes, they just want the most recent bridging or recent awards. So you might just have their most recent rainbow bridge, but you can transfer those bridging arcs up. So bridging itself is not that rainbow arc. There are associated activities which are detailed in the Girls Guide to Girl Scouting. It's also in the volunteer toolkit. Part of that is, as they're bridging activities, they reach out to girls who are older than they are at the next level, talk to them about what's involved in the next level, what opportunities do they have. The older girls can share their experience of what they've done. Perhaps cadets can share the opportunity to earn a silver award with juniors. The other requirement is that they meet with a troop younger than them and let them know what the next level is. So a Daisy troop would get to meet with a Brownie troop and learn what awaits them in Brownies. Daisies obviously don't have to meet with a troop younger than them because there is no troop younger than or level younger than them. but all the other levels would want to take that opportunity to get a younger group of girls excited about becoming brownies or juniors or cadets and so forth. It's really one of the important things in helping girls feel motivated and excited about continuing is that they have the opportunity to see what awaits them at the next level that they didn't have as juniors or that they didn't have as cadets. What do they get to do next that's bigger and better and more impactful? Investiture kind of goes hand in hand with rededication. When you get a new girl, even a new adult who joins your troop, invest them as part of that troop. They're investing their commitment to Girl Scouts into the troop. And you can often combine a lot of these, in fact, all of these different awards into a quart of awards. You can have it multiple times a year. You can hold badges or journeys to be distributed at that time, or you can distribute them through the year and just recognize them all at once. What I did with my troop is at the end of each school year, we would have a family potluck and all the families were invited, and we would have either a bridging ceremony or an end of the year ceremony, and it was all wrapped into a quart of awards. So although they would receive their badges through the year as they earn them, at the end of the year, at that quart of awards, including a bridging ceremony or an investiture or rededication at the end of the school year, I would create a little booklet and it would have a list of all the activities that the girls had done through that year, what badges they had earned, what activities they had gone to, some pictures, and that way they had a keepsake to take home for their quart of awards. Then in the fall, when we started back up, we would have an investiture and rededication specifically with the girls and the troop leaders. So lots of fun ways to do that. If anybody has had some fun ceremonies or ideas, please feel free to drop them in the chat for all of us to share. You can also share at the end during our Q&A. Okay, next slide. Okay, so bridging, like we said, is moving up to the next level. Lots of ways to do it, individually as a troop, virtually, like we've done in the last year, as a service unit or a council, for example, and national bridging opportunities. We will share out some more links to GS NorCal and GSUSA bridging opportunities coming up, which at this point are still all virtual, but we likely will see some in-person stuff coming later in the summer. Okay, Lauren. Here's some really cool pictures, virtual bridging ideas of different beautiful bridges. Look around at what your community has that you can take advantage of, even if it's a little bridge in your backyard or something your service unit has. Take advantage of it, make it fun, make it unique. Anything will work, really.
Yeah, and this is an example of a virtual bridging that someone did. They have like one of those super troops. So I think they assigned each girl, or each girl got to choose a bridge that like from around the world. And then when they did their mini virtual bridging ceremony, they like put up this bridge and the girl got to, along with their name, like you can see their name plus like the little arch and the level that they were going to. So just an idea if you're thinking about a virtual bridging ceremony, if you're not comfortable or your families aren't comfortable with something in person, here's one idea. And we have a special guest on the call, Heather. She's our Sunnyvale troop leader, and she's gonna go ahead and share a little bit about her troop's virtual bridging. We're kind of diving into some of the ideas of bridging. So off to Heather, and I'll stop sharing my screen. And Heather, just let me know if you want me to share those slides.
Oh, yeah. So I have 3 daughters. They're all in Girl Scouts. The oldest is a 7th grader. I have a 6th grader, and then I have a 2nd grader. So we did a hybrid bridging last summer with the Daisy Troop bridging to brownies. And so I just wanted to share that idea with you guys. I think it works better with the younger kids, but we had a virtual pajama party on Saturday night. And actually, to back up a bit, it was a whole weekend of activities. It was kind of like a camp out with some various activities, camp out from your own home. But on Friday, we asked the girls to leave a chalk message somewhere in a 3-mile radius, like at a park or the local public school, or maybe even in their driveway if they felt comfortable with that. And then on Saturday night, we had a virtual pajama party, and I sent Lauren a link to the, there's a slideshow that I got on a Facebook group. It's called Girl Scout Junior Leaders Think Tank, I think. And one of the people who posts on there a lot, I think she also posts on Girl Scouts of NorCal. She posted her virtual pajama party slideshow with lots of information about how you can do this. So I used that as a template for the pajama party, but toned it down a lot because it was, I think it's, did you just post it, Lauren? There, yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, so you can look at that. It's really extensive. We couldn't do all that with the daisies. We just did a few activities. So we just had fun. We did a rainbow loom craft, some minute to win it games. Then I had my older daughters talk about what it's like to be in brownies and juniors, to be part of the bridging requirement there. And then we took a break for people to eat their own pizza. We didn't provide that, but I provided a brownie baking kit that they could also bake during that hour break. Because that's what I know, that's something fun. Giving a brownie kit is something my older girls have gotten. So we continued that tradition, which was fun. And then we came back and kind of finished up activities after that hour break. They just ate on their own. We turned off Zoom. Sorry, that was all on Zoom from their own homes. I don't know if I made that clear. Yeah, so then we, some of the girls had made like little tents or pillow forts in their houses. So we kind of showed those on the Zoom call. And then we took a break around 8 o'clock for the night. And then we got up on Sunday and had breakfast. I had packed breakfast in a little lunch bag for them with like shelf stable milk and cereal and some other things. So we had breakfast outside in our front yards or backyards or somewhere, and we did a yoga video, yoga with Adrian. So that was fun. And then that day is when then they went on a scavenger hunt to find the chalk messages around the neighborhood. So that was the fun part. I thought it was the most fun. Some of the clues, I did clues like find a street very, very close to Las Palmas Park that means a food that is full of flavor and very tasty. The house number is 887. I forgot what the street name was. It was some food name. So it was things like that where they could use a map, and then the parents had the answer key. So it was fun. We just walked around. Mostly, I think a lot of people had to drive. My family I think we biked because everything was 3 miles. You could bike or drive. And then the final clue was in my front yard. We had a little bridge that our service unit lets people borrow, and the parents had bought the brownie vests for the kids. So then I think that was a surprise for most kids. They gave them the brownie vest. So this is something you could do like with a local bridge, maybe like if your school has a bridge or something, find a bridge, but have them end at the bridge. And this was something that we did just on our own. We didn't do it with groups of friends. It was just with the family. We'd do that. And it was really neat to see all the photos. People posted all the photos with their kids at all the same sites, even though we didn't do it together. It was neat to see everyone in the same physical space on the same day, but not together. So I liked that idea of using space, the same physical spaces, but not together. So yeah, anyone have any questions?
Awesome. Thanks, Heather. I did drop the slides in case people haven't seen, but yeah, go ahead if you have questions. Any questions for Heather? I think she does have to drop off soon, but if you have any questions, feel free to put it in chat and we could send them over to Heather as well.
I think that was a great way to find a hybrid experience so that the girls were actually able to do something physical and involved and outside in their bridging ceremony, while also at the same time being able to keep that social distancing and everything that we had to have in the past year. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heather. I'm going to go ahead and get back to presenting. We're just sharing a couple more bridging ideas. So let's go with this one. One troop did a drive-through bridging. So Winnie, if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I had a service unit last year that did a drive-through bridging. and they arranged to use a court area that was next to a park, and using the fence along the park, they were able to put up posters and kind of congratulations for bridging to juniors kind of things, balloons and other things. And they had a volunteer at the end of the bridging drive-through who would hand goodie bags to each car as they came through. So they were able to create a social distancing situation, keep households together, but the girls still had that fun, exciting opportunity to drive through. Families decorated their cars. This year, we have the same opportunity to do something similar, create a photo set there where a family group can stop maybe and get out. What they did was they set up a schedule so that cars could sign up and were staggered to go through, so that family groups all came through one after the other for their troop, and were able to take some pictures. They were able to wave to each other and see each other. And it was a lot of fun. They felt like they had had that special ceremony. So that's one of the ideas. And this year we have a little bit more openness than we had last spring. So we have the ability to add a little bit more ability for the girls to get out and there have that time with the photo set, walk over the bridge as a troop and then move on. And then the next troop can come and do their photo and they're walking across the bridge. And kind of an exciting way to do a hybrid event as a service unit or as a troop, or a couple of troops can get together and do that as well. If you have a sister troop, or you just reach out within your area and see if there's another troop who would like to work with you for something similar. Okay, Lauren, let's see, other bridging ideas. One of our staff members shared with us an exciting bridging they did with a Da Vinci bridge, which we'll see on the next slide. Lots of fun ways to do bridging. We used to have an in-person sundial bridging that we haven't had in the last couple of years. But of course, everybody knows about our big Golden Gate bridging. This year, that's all virtual. But check your local parks. Even sometimes our own neighborhoods have little bridges and things we can use to make this work. And like we said early, combine it with a Court of Awards so you can recognize the girls for what they did throughout the year, and their parents can really get to see their accomplishments. Okay, let's see the Da Vinci Bridge next. This was an amazing thing to me. You can see these pictures. So you take dowels and boards and you assemble it together and you have a bridge the girls can actually walk on. This was really amazing. We have a link for the tutorial on how to do it. This would be a really cool idea for a troop to do, and maybe even earn the cadet woodworker badge, some parts of that. And you could use that for your troop, maybe have it for the service unit to use as well. Easy to store too in your off time. And this is actually a design by Leonardo da Vinci. So kind of a really cool thing for engineering too.
Yeah, and part of the fun is just trying to figure out how to build the bridge. So a lot of it is like you just have the pieces. I think not too many instructions. It's on the girls to try to figure out how they can use the 2x4s and the dowels to make it freestanding. So, I mean, here's what it looks like in the end, and then those people are trying to figure it out. So that's a cool idea and project for girls to work on. Yeah. And of course, it all collapses into just like a little bundle of wood after, so easy to store.
Okay, so these are the bridging events that GS NorCal has going on this year. We have a virtual bridging bash for daisies and brownies, which you can find on the event calendar. There's a separate registration link for daisies and a separate one for brownies. We have our virtual Golden Gate bridging activities. We have a Great Bridge Challenge, and we have the Story Swap. So again, you can find those on our event calendar. GS NorCal does not currently have any events planned for older girl or bridge to adults, but we will see in our next slide that GSUSA does have virtual events scheduled and open for registration for each level. So if you have girls bridging from cadets to seniors or seniors to ambassadors or to adult, you can sign up for a virtual bridging through GSUSA, and they'll get to participate with girls all over the country. There are on normal, what we call normal years, councils across the country who have larger bridging events for different levels. The way GS NorCal really has this huge Golden Gate bridging, there are some other councils that have big bridging events for some of the older levels, bridging to adult or from cadets to seniors. So as we move into future years, if your girls are going up to those levels, keep an eye out, do some searches and see if your girls want to do something special or big for one of those older girl levels. Look to see what other councils in other parts of the country are doing. We have girls who come from all over the country, sometimes even from other countries, to do Golden Gate bridging when we have it in person. So we can certainly do that in other councils ourselves. When my girls bridged from cadets to seniors, 8th grade to 9th grade, they planned in 6th grade and saved money, and we did it at Disneyland. So we took a troop trip down to Disneyland and bridged over the bridge that's next to in the Snow White Garden. And it was a really nice special experience. We had what they call a key ceremony, which was the investiture for seniors, and they each had a little key, and they put a wish into the wishing well there in the Snow White Garden. So that was a really special thing. And you definitely have the opportunity to plan all those things with your girls. A lot of times troops that are bridging to adult will plan special events for their girls to do at that point, travel especially. Okay, so all of these, of course, Lauren dropped that in the chat, the guides to bridging. There is also on the GSUSA bridging page, there's a bridging guide, and there's a virtual bridging guide that actually contains a nice ceremony and links to other ideas that you can do virtually as a troop. Okay, all right. So that's the bulk of what we had to share with you formally about bridging and moving to the next level. But we would love to hear from you all, your experiences bridging your girls, especially those of you who are older leaders and have had experience with bridging and moving up to the older girl levels. And please ask your questions, anything we can answer or share with you, that's what we're here for. So feel free to come off mute or to put your questions in chat as well.
I like to share an experience that I had. Hi, everybody. My name is Lita. My girls are actually bridging from cadets to seniors this year, and I've had them since they were daisies. And there's a park in our town. They call it Wooden Park, and it's this big wooden structure. And during that time, I had 14 girls. And for their bridging, it was a big event. We had the families come, everybody had a potluck, brought healthy snacks. And what I did is we had the girls do an obstacle course through the park, and no one could leave anyone behind. And so as they came through, they had their parents lined up and gave them their rainbow badges and special things. And it was really great. Yeah. Yeah, and then we took pictures as they were going through. Yeah.
Thank you, Lita.
Awesome.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
I like the obstacle course and no one getting left behind.
Thank you.
Christina, I see you have your hand up.
I have a question. With things lightening up maybe a little bit with COVID, I have one scout that's going to be bridging to cadets, and then I've got 3 or 4 that are going to be bridging to juniors. I've got a multi age group troop. The girls have been wanting an ice cream pool party for over a year now, and because of the COVID, we haven't been able to do it. I was thinking that things might lighten up and maybe in September, we might be able to meet in person, have a pool party. And is it permissible to add all these things together? Is there a special season? I've noticed that it was supposed to happen in spring. You said that the bridging, but could it happen in the fall? Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah, you can kind of bridge at any point that works for your troop. And also the badge work it's not set in stone that you can't do any more brownie badge work after you bridge, or you can't do cadet badge work before you bridge. It's, it's kind of great for them to get a vision of the badge work that's coming at the next level, get a preview, and you can bridge at any point. My girls over the years, when we bridged to seniors and went to Disneyland, we did it early in March during our spring break because that worked for when we could make that trip. However, there was another year when we didn't bridge until close to Halloween, and they made that bridging ceremony into a Halloween party and made it Halloween themed. So you can bridge when it works for your troop. You can also do multiple bridging ceremonies. You could do a service unit one or a national one, and you can do a troop one as well.
And I can combine like the rededication, the Court of Awards, and the investiture and the bridging all in the same ice cream pool party if we want to.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
Okay,
And then if you're talking about a troop level in-person pool and ice cream party, you can do that. Troops can get together. A troop can get together and do an in-person activity like that at this point.
We can't, even if it's in a pool. I thought we couldn't do pool stuff. Are you saying that the COVID restrictions are released enough that we can do a pool party?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes, you can do a pool party. Pool parties do require a lifeguard and first aider because it's considered a high risk activity. So you would want to be sure you submit a trip or high adventure activity form and specify who your lifeguard, that you have a lifeguard, certified lifeguard, and first aider for your pool party.
And in this scenario, are families and SIBs allowed because with COVID restrictions? Do we know?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They are.
It would be. It would be. Yeah.
Okay. And then one other thing is we were talking about bridging with my troop, and we do have somebody who's bridging to cadets, and sadly there's no Golden Gate bridging this year. And I was asking the girl ideas, and and I just have one girl that's bridging to cadets, and one of the youngest girls said, let's paint the Golden Gate Bridge on cardboard and make a special bridge for her. It was so sweet. It was.
Aww.
I know. It was great.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like that.
And here's the link to our COVID webpage too, just for extra guidance in case anyone needs it. We are following right now, currently, the state guidelines for youth sports. So I would definitely check that guideline. I'm trying to find that specific link. When I find it, I'll put it in chat as well, but definitely we're following this sport youth guidelines. So I would check that out to make sure all of that. So we're also following whatever they're calling spectators. We're calling that like our families and like the littles. So they would be under that spectator category for following the guidelines.
So do we have to have proof that they've had their COVID shots or not? And do we have to keep the 6 feet social distancing?
I think that's specifically a conversation to have with our risk management department. So our travel at gsnorcal.org. I did just this past week have a discussion with the troop and with that department about having a troop pool party for the end of the year. So that's how I can tell you that they said, yes, it's okay to have a pool party. But definitely on details about family and siblings and all those details about having a pool party, travel at gsnorcal.org is the place to check or to get confirmation on particular details for your party.
Yeah, and we definitely want to make sure that everyone like submits all their paperwork. You can still plan for it. So even if something's not allowed like today or next month, definitely plan for it. We don't want that to stop your planning. Get those paperwork submitted in early. they are reviewing everything. So if maybe it's not allowed today, but in like the fall when you have it planned or something, it's allowed, then at least we have the paperwork in early to approve and stuff. So as soon as things open up, we just want to make sure that all the paperwork's already in ahead of time. So if you're thinking for the fall or even just like for traveling in general, definitely start planning and submitting the paperwork and stuff in. I guess any other questions or ideas that anyone wants to share? We have about 1 minute, but we're happy to stay on a little extra if you guys want to keep sharing different bridging ideas.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate your being here. And those of you who shared your experiences and your ideas, we love it. It's always great when we can hear what other people are doing. It gives us creative inspiration. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us or to your volunteer development managers. We're happy to answer questions and help you put your plans together.